everyone. I hope you're all having a great day. Well, most of you who know me know that I love planting season. And those of you who really know me know that I'm probably getting a little bit of spring fever right now. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't true. But as you know, we are out here in Colorado. Say hi to little Caesar. As we are out here in Colorado, of course, you got to be careful because we have multiple levels of spring, I guess. We'll think that it's springtime and it's safe to plant and everything, and then boom, we get hit with a snowstorm, and then we have some nice weather again, and then boom, another snowstorm. So what can people like me who get spring fever do to alleviate some of that spring fever? Well, I'll tell you. So one of the things that I like to do, and I'll turn around and show you my bed, my garden bed, not, one of the things that I like to do is I like to come out and I like to check the beds, make sure that they have a good layer of mulch, and like with my roses, what I need to do here is I need to actually pull the mulch back a little bit because that mulch is up too far against the base. With it being that far up against the base, it can actually cause the base of the plant to rot out, and that's the last thing we want to do. So one of the things that I will do is I'll go around and I'll pull the mulch out just a little bit so that I don't rot the base out. One of the other things that we can do is get your garden ready. So get the garden ready. I'm not a gardening expert, but I am from Iowa, which doesn't necessarily mean anything, but I do love gardening. So what I've done in my bed, now you see I left these dead plants here from last year because my hope is that they're going to lay seed and then reseed for me. These are annuals, dahlias that I planted last year, and then I have some basil there as well. This is hummingbird mint, which is a perennial, and it will come back. But what you see here, the soil out here in Colorado is not great, and it's very difficult to grow things unless you amend the soil. So what I did here a couple weeks ago, actually, to kind of appease my spring fever at the moment, was I went to the local hardware store and I got a whole bunch of manure and compost. So I have cow manure in here and I have compost in here. What I also did, and this is something I learned because I'm one of those weirdos that I actually like to have a worm garden as well. So worms like the nutrients that you can get in paper. It makes a really good bedding for the worms. So, hi Caesar. Yes, we're in the garden. So what I like to do is I will shred up some paper. Now, when you're using paper that when you're shredding paper that you're going to use in the garden, you don't want it to have any staples or any plastic, and you don't want the high gloss paper. The chemicals in those are not good for the soil, and they're not good for the worms. So you want to have just plain paper, preferably black print, but color print is okay if you have to. So I laid the paper shreddings down, and then I put a layer of mulch over the top of this. What this does is I have the manure, then I have the paper shreddings, and then I have the mulch, and that's going to create a good environment, allow some of the nutrients to soak into the soil, and also encourage the microbial growth that we want and the worms that we want. And of course it encourages our Caesar boy as well. And it will help to give you, Caesar, what are you doing? It'll help to give you a healthier ground, dirt, to start your plants. Now, in Colorado, as with most places, you want to be careful about when you start your plants. I often will start them indoor, or instead of starting them indoor, already started from Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever I might go. Now, the downside of that is they do tend to be more expensive, but you don't have to drive your husband crazy like I do by starting a whole bunch of seeds inside. If you do start them inside, you can find what are called walls of water. And when it starts to get a little bit warmer, you can put the wall of water around the plant and put it into the ground. The wall of water will add about 10 degrees worth of heat onto the climate inside that wall. So that gives you an opportunity to start them a little bit earlier. Now here, this is a tree that I planted last year. I watched a video that my mom shared with me, and I'll have to find it because it gives you some good tips about planting trees. This stuff here, this is a wrap that I got. It's specifically made for trees. And what it does is it helps prevent the bark from splitting, because that's a big danger for young trees, is having the trunk split. If the trunk splits, likely that tree is going to suffer long-term results. But if you look on here, you can see, that I already have some buds coming in, which of course for me, I'm very excited about that. Now, winter. Colorado is a high plains desert, so one of the things that we have to be aware of is the amount of water that our outdoor plants get. The one that I just planted, it needed, they recommend about 5 gallons of water about twice a month during the winter months. And that's why you see I have that orange Home Depot bucket over there, because it's a 5-gallon water. If we get enough snow and it's the really heavy wet snow, then you don't have to worry too much about it. But if it's a dry winter, then you absolutely need to make sure that you're watering your plants in the wintertime. That includes your trees. It also includes your roses and other shrubs and perennials. So, all right, that's all. Thank you for joining me. That helped alleviate some of my spring fever. All right, I'll chat with you again soon. Bye.